I know. Running and holding hands.
We're gonna let it rock.
Can't
We're
do
gonna
anything without each other. A
let it
mess.
rock now. 1 year. That's what I'm giving it. 1 year.
Before she cheat or before they break up?
A little bit of both, honestly.
See. All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of another relaunch. I am the King of Thieves, Remy LeBeau.
Oh my gosh, I am Irene Adler, Destiny.
Oh, nasty.
Yes.
Ooh. Although I like her. I like
She's
her.
fun. She's a good time. And the person who she's whacking deserves to get whacked, so it works.
Whoa, whoa. I don't think he needs to get whacked all the time. Like, we'll talk
Um,
about that later, everybody, but like, y'all gotta lay off Gambit. I feel like I sound like Rogue. Like, my man, my man.
My man alone.
Leave him alone. How are you?
I'm doing well. I remember last week we talked. I told you about how I've been working out and like my clothes are getting a little bit too small, so I need to move like the mediums to a large, the large to an extra large. I haven't done that at all whatsoever. So I've been regulated to like sweatpants, joggers, and sweatshirts and hoodies wherever I go. And so now I feel like I look like a sneaky link all the time.
Well,
I know. I like walking to the store and I could just feel the people looking at me like, look at this young slut. Probably just left some whorehouse and now he's in here getting his groceries. And I was like, maybe. But you know
ain't
what?
nothing wrong with that.
This is all that fits right now. So
That's
it's
all the
it's the
people.
vibe we're going to take.
I like an athleisure look, you know?
You do. I'm trying. I'm still like I'm not used to. I used to wear like my clothes used to be a little tight, and so I'm trying to like move away from that as I've gotten older. So I've been getting into more like athletic gear, but now I just feel like I look crazy in it because I don't wear it too often unless I am going to the gym. So like outside, I'm like learning how to style it. It's been fun. It's cute. It's like
Yeah, it's fun.
it's a new
Sporty
year.
girl.
How
You're a
are
sporty
you?
girl. I'm great. I am in Atlanta for the weekend. And this has been a lot of fun. Been hanging out with this guy. He's been great. Um, yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I'm going to go see my best friend later. Shout out
Okay,
to
okay.
Joanna.
We love
Yeah,
a
it's been
fun-filled
fun.
weekend trip.
Yeah,
Fun
Atlanta's been
time.
very great to me.
That's what we love to hear.
Yeah, I know people have their own horror stories about Atlanta, but I haven't really had them yet. Although I feel like I haven't really been like in the streets for me to
Uh,
even get involved in any of that right now.
that's
So
what you
like,
need to do. But I know you also got to wear it because you know the girls like to fight down there. So,
I know. And I like
so
my thing is I don't want to fight, but I will. I have no problem fighting. So
child, don't make me catch a flight down there.
period.
Like,
Boom. All right, y'all. So let's get into the updates of the week. Not too much going on this week, so we don't have too many updates. I know that there have been some recent additions and added to the Thunderbolts cast, but like
Mhm.
we'll just have to get closer to when that comes out. There has been more rumors indicating that we talked about this last week that Stephen Yeun is going to be the
I
Sentry. And like I said, originally it felt like people were just saying that because they know the Thunderbolts movie needs to have like that Superman character that they're probably gonna fight or something. And people were just like, oh well, he's a famous actor, that's probably who he's gonna be. But now I don't know. I kind of see the vision.
when we first talked about it, I was like, I don't know. But the more I've seen about it, I'm still kind of like, I don't know. But also, but also, I'm intrigued. So
Yeah,
I don't know. We'll see. I just
I
want to see
think
if he
he'll be
gets big
cool.
for the role. I think that'll be a really interesting look for him.
Yeah, he's such a small guy. I feel like him getting
No.
big would be interesting.
And like short guys pack on muscle like really easily. So it's like if he does it, it's gonna come.
People tell me that because I'm short, and I'm like, I just need to go to the gym there, but I
Look, I'm telling you,
don't.
work out for a month and you're gonna come out looking stacked, and it's gonna be real irritating for me because
I
it's like I
got it
gotta work
planned.
out.
I'm gonna do that for the summer.
It's coming. She's right around the corner. Everybody get those goals together and start eating your peanut butter.
I don't like peanut butter though.
I hate peanut butter.
I
Oh
hate
my
peanut butter.
gosh. And it's so good for like protein and all that
I
stuff like that.
know.
always wants you to do it, and I'm just like, this is disgusting. I have gotten into a good habit, like my little snacks. I'll do like a little peanut butter on some bread, throw some like bananas on there, drizzle it in a little honey. Uh
Okay.
but that's the
That's
only
what you
time
can't do the peanut butter. I don't like it.
it's
I
you
was like the
you.
only kid, like when I was younger, who got like all jelly sandwiches because I don't like PB and J.
But that is the thing. I do love a PB&J. That's like one of my comfort foods.
Not for me. All right. All right, y'all. Well, let's go ahead and take a break, and then we'll come right back.
Cool. All right, all right, all right. Welcome back to another review for the comics of the week. Now, we had a couple of things come out. We'll go ahead and talk about some of our mentions. Action Comics 1052 came out. That's kind of dropped down to the mention section just because we can't keep saying like it's good every week. I mean, it's not really too much else to say. If you're not reading Action Comics by this point, get with it.
Get on it.
Like, we're doing some good things. It's fun. There was a Barbarella. For those, I've talked about it before. That's kind of my low-key girl on the low. She has a new book that just started, Barbarella, The Center of Cannot Hold. So that came out, and Captain America Sentinel of Liberty was also out this week. That's continuing on with the upcoming event. So if you've been reading Symbol of Truth, I recommend picking up Sentinel of Liberty as well. And
Carmen Canero on art too, so you can't go wrong with that.
Carmen Canero's art. You know what I was thinking about though, really quickly? Elena Casagrande.
Ooh, Queen. Yeah.
Like, we need her back on something.
Yeah.
ASAP. Like, let's get on that, Marvel.
That Black Widow series, I mean, it won the Eisner, so it speaks for itself.
Enough said. And our book of the week is actually a new #1, Rogue and Gambit #1, and that comes from Stephanie Phillips and Carlos Gomez. And I'll actually let you take this one away because Rogue is your doll, and you are Gambit this week, so.
Yes, so everybody knows, Rogue is my girl. There was a time where she wasn't really my girl, and to the people out there who may have thought, yes, there was some times where I had to drag her a little couple times, and people may have thought that it was because of her relationship with Captain Marvel or something, but that's not the case. It was honestly Wonder Man. That's the thing that bothered me.
That's
the Carol thing. I think that actually ended up helping both of the characters. Yes, it was like a tragic story, whatever, but it's a part of their history. I think it's a really cool story. It really helped the both of them kind of really launch their career. She became binary. Rogue became the super strong smashing superhero that everybody loves. My problem came in when they tried to do it again, but with Wonder Man. And y'all know how I feel about him. But now that's been cleared up, she's back to being my girl. And this is her new #1 with her and her husband now. And I have to say, before we get into the issue, I recognize that I have a bias towards Apollo and Midnighter. And I think everybody should have their relationship goals. Like, I think everybody should be like them. But everybody can't be. However, I do think that, like, Rogue and Gambit, now that they're married, should at least start to be there. So, like, this issue opens up, Gambit's fighting ninjas in New Orleans drunk. And he's getting his ass beat, but, like, trying to fight back, but still getting his ass beat. And then, of course, Rogue comes in and saves the day. He says that, we had reservations for this event at 7 o'clock. We're going to get dinner. And she was like, oh, I had to stop because, Rogue is a superhero. She was like, I had to stop and do something. He's like, you always got something to do. And Rogue, they start to get into a little tiff. And she was like, I'm not talking about this with you while you're drunk. He was like, we never even talked about this while I'm sober. And then he's almost going to throw up.
Been there also.
Yes. Again, I think it's very cute that we see their relationship or whatever. But, like, I feel like kind of over Gambit always having to be the one to get rescued by Rogue and just, like, not looking very competent. Because that does not look good for either of them. It makes him not look great, and then it makes her look like, girl, why you with him?
Why you with this bum, girl?
He fighting ninjas and he can't even win. Like, come on.
You need to get a job.
So later we find out that Lady Deathstrike has been, I don't really know what they've been doing with her. She just kind of appears in stories.
Just keeps getting kidnapped. I don't know. Yeah. Like, the threat is gone.
Truly.
The like killer girl who we used to be scared of come around with the fingers. It's over. She's a punch bag now.
She's just a punching bag now. So Lady Deathstrike is like she's been captured, but then she ends up getting taken. Well, we later find out that it was because someone's been basically taking mutants and just selling them basically on like a black market. Rogue and Gambit are having a little bit of an argument back in their hotel room, and of course, Destiny shows up, and she's like, I reckon I don't care about you fighting that man, but you need to come listen to me. I've got this mission for you now that you're done with the X-Men. Just trust me. And of course, Rogue is like, okay, I'm going to trust you. You're my mom. I'm on your side. I'm going to believe you. Gambit is like, are you serious? Like, we just going to trust her? Like, she didn't give us any kind of details on this mission other than just trust me. So I do appreciate Gambit being like, girl, use your mind. Like, look who this lady is.
Turn this on. Turn it on.
But she ends up telling them that they need Manifold for a mission. Like, you need to go get him. Manifold ends up back in, I don't know if he's got his own like secret lair or something. He's like away from the X-Men. He's like, like when I'm not doing this, I got my own stuff that I'm gonna have going on. He's got a whole
Avenger.
Yeah, that's what they say.
He said this was a part-time gig that he just needed some extra cash. His full-time job is still active.
Okay, his Avengers card still works. So that's what he was at. He's saying, I got this like dossier on all these villains that's been getting kidnapped. We think maybe something's going on there. Rogue is like, we'll help you. Like, we obviously want you to come with us, but like, we'll obviously help you. They go off, find out where this plane was meeting up with some guy. I think he was a part of Excalibur or something like that. So that was kind of a cool connection.
The ambassador, he is one of the leaders of the Coven of Kava, who is currently showing up in the Betsy Broderick Captain Britain book and launching his smear campaign against the doll. Teeny needs to write Meghan Markle into one of these issues and have her and Betsy like go out to the club and really upset the British people. That's my side.
Ooh, I mean, that's Betsy having fun, so that would be nice to see.
Yeah.
We won't go there. We won't go there now. But we see that Rogue and Gambit end up going to this plane to try to stop the capture of Lady Deathstrike. Turns out things have been going bad. They got this gun that like turns the powers off or like drains them basically. And Manifold has a little bit of power at the end, teleports Rogue and Gambit away while he ends up getting captured. I thought the mission part of all this was a lot of fun. Again, I get it. Rogue is really powerful and Gambit has powers too. So of course, like in this fight, there would not have been any kind of like, resistance for them to really fight. They easily take these people out. But we got to find other ways than just depowering. Like either make the villain stronger or something. We got to do something else.
Agreed. The depowering thing has become really frustrating, and it's one of those cases now where I feel like so many of the X-Men, them getting depowered at this point, actually shouldn't matter. They should have like enough skills of like at least some basic hand-to-hand combat where they can do what they need to do against some street level goons with guns. You know what I'm saying? So I was a little bit upset about that. I thought this issue altogether was like fun. It felt kind of like sitcom feel, like back in the day, you got the married couple there arguing, you got the nasty mom-in-law, she comes in. Destiny's vague mission was a little bit irritating, but that is Destiny in itself. I did appreciate that there was like some slight pushback from Rogue and Gambit to kind of be like, you got to tell us something, and Destiny was still just kind of steadfast in her no. I also appreciated Manifold in the whole aspect of just being like, I was just helping y'all were doing some crazy stuff. You had Brain on the roster. You got Destiny on the roster. She wants me to come help you. I'm not doing that. And I also appreciate just the connectivity that they're trying to maintain between the lines of like having different villains and stuff appear in different books and like really connected. I thought it was interesting how Rogue made the comment to Manifold about how she doesn't always trust Krakoa either. And I wonder if that's going to continue to kind of play into this book, like with her role with Destiny or just like some other stuff. Other than that, I agree with the Gambit comment. I personally am not the biggest fan of Gambit myself. However, we're not going crazy. However, I do agree that in this aspect of their marriage, I think that they should be at a different point. It should be a lot more sturdy. It should be a lot more confident. It should be a lot more like Rogue know who she married. If Gambit gonna go get drunk and do stuff, then like, whatever, she's cool with that. He shouldn't still be like, oh my God, I'm not spending time with you. You don't know this girl for how long? it's okay that she can go do whatever. So I think I would like for that to change, but I don't know. It does feel like Gambit is kind of just becoming the wife guy,
Yeah,
which
which
I
is
also kind
fine.
of see for him. I think I've said that before that like I see Gambit as the type of guy who doesn't really want to do anything but kind of like sit up on the road, and when he's not sitting up on the road, he's sitting on the couch.
We got to change that couch part. Like, I understand he in love with Anna Marie. That's his girl. But, like, we got to figure out something else for him. I think out of all of the X-Men characters, he is one of the few that is a solo character. He's got his own life outside of all this X-Men stuff with the Thieves Guild and all the other stuff. And I recognize that some people don't really like that. I know the editorial people up there, they've said specifically they don't like him with the Thieves Guild. So maybe we just got to wait for the right editor to come in and maybe switch that around or something. But I do wish that he got his own agency back within his relationship with Rogue instead of it just being Rogue.
Or even if they're like gonna stay married and she does the superhero thing, let him just tag along. You know what I'm saying? And not even in the sense of like, oh, he just happens to be around and he's like, well, I don't want Rogue to go by herself. It's this thing where it's like, no, like I want to go do something too. Like I feel active. You're helping people. I just want to smash some heads. Okay, cool. That works out.
That's what Midnight and Apollo do.
And it works for them. They are the blueprint, truly. But all in all, I thought the issue was fine. Fun, sitcom-y. The art, I'm realizing I might not be the biggest fan of Carlos Gomez's art. I think it tells the job well. But we'll see how the rest goes. I'm going to stick around for at least the next issue to continue. I think this is only 5 issues. I'll probably get all 5.
Yeah, 5 issue mini.
I'm enjoying what's going on. I know Black Panther shows up next issue, and that's the cover where like Rogue is elbowing him into the pool table and Gambit is shooting the A-ball into his chest. So I'm excited to get to that.
Yeah, and the previews have been out for that already, so check that out, guys. And it looks like they're just like hustling. I don't know why would Black Panther want to come get Manifold. I don't know what's happening here, but I guess we'll see. I would give this issue overall a 3 out of 5. Kind of like you said, I'm not the biggest fan of Carlos Gomez's art. Rogue's hair does look a fool. I personally do not think that she should have the brown and the white streak as like these two separate things. Because when they put the white on top of her head, it just looks like a wig reveal. But like, the other one already out, and she was like, "Forget it, just put it on top."
Yeah,
I don't like that. It should look like it's all one. She's got a white streak in her hair, not this big like glob of white on the top of her head. Yeah, not a fan. What would you rate the issue?
I would also give it a 3 out of 5, maybe like a 3.25 out of 5. I enjoyed it. It was fun. I'm looking forward to. I didn't really care for the depowering stuff, but I am kind of interested to see like how they continue to have Covenant Cobbett in it, what exactly Destiny's plan is, and why they are like kidnapping and trying to control these mutants.
Yeah, I wonder if this is leading or helping out the whole like X-Men versus the Council thing. I know that there had been like some tension between them before with the reveal of Resurrection, or at least I thought there would be more tension after the Resurrection was revealed. Maybe we're gonna circle back to that after this Sins of Sinister thing. But maybe this is helping like build back towards the X-Men versus the Council, or like maybe the downfall of the Council or something. Who knows?
Let's hope so. Fall of X is coming.
It is. All right, y'all. So that brings us over into the AR Club for this week. We're actually going to push this back to April. We're going to be taking a break next week. So you got a little bit of time, get this stuff right. We'll be coming back for I guess it's not won't be kind of a March Madness thing. Does April have like a tournament? I don't play sports. So like, I don't know.
I played football, but that season's not in April, so.
Yes. But we'll be coming back in April with Avengers Arena. So let's go ahead and take a break, and then we'll come right back.
Ooh.
Running and holding hands.
Let it rock.
Can't do anything without each other. A mess.
1 year. That's what I'm giving it. 1 year.
Before she cheat or before they break up?
A little bit of both, honestly.
We'll see. All right, y'all. Welcome back to the relaunch section of the show. And this week, I'm going to be relaunching one of my favorite characters. Now, to no one's surprise, it's a robot and a villain. So,
Yeah.
so you should have already guessed that part. But it is Bastion, and he is one of my favorite X-Men villains. I kind of separate him and Nimrod. Previously, I used to kind of tie them together because Nimrod went through the Siege Perilous, and then that's how he became Bastion, or like a version of Nimrod did that. Um, but I like now kind of separate them as two different beings. I don't know if that's fair because then they both occupy two of like my top three spots for favorite villain. So they're kind of the same, but whatever. But Bastion is a character who was created in 1996. Again, he was first. His first appearance was in X-Men 52. It was created by, it looks like, Scott Lobdell. I didn't know that. I thought he was. Again, I guess I technically thought of him being created through Nimrod.
So you're
Yeah,
like, oh, the version of that. But I guess that makes sense. That he's locked out.
right.
Operation Zero Tolerance.
Zero tolerance.
High.
Yes. If y'all remember the game, um, X-Men, was it Mutant Academy with the fighting he was in? No, Next Dimensions.
Yeah.
X-Men Next Dimensions. That was the fighting game that had Bastion in it and all
That
of
was a
the
good
other like
game.
Omega Sentinels. That was.
They need to bring
They
that
should bring that
back.
back. We need we need another one. Stop rebooting. Like, I don't really want an X-Men Legend 3. I'd rather them just do something completely fresh with
Yes.
an RPG for X-Men. But I wouldn't mind a X-Men Next Dimensions,
Like
2.0.
three,
Let's do that.
whatever. What are we gonna do? Like, let's reboot that. Get the graphics in
Yes.
there, and then I also like that one because that one had two Betsies. It had the Betsy Braddock and the Psylocke in it. I was like, oh, we cleared it.
Not you saying they both Betsy. I mean, whatever. Also, though, if we update this, y'all, I'm sorry. We really don't need Magneto. Let's lose Lorna. I'm gonna go ahead and say it.
She's due for a game. I do feel like if there was ever an X-Men game, I'm not gonna lie. I think they're gonna use Magneto first, but I think she has a good chance of either being in the sequel or like a DLC character. I do
Magneto be like the boss that you unlock at the end, but she's actually, the character you
in
play
the
with.
game.
Yeah.
I think if you do a game where you make Magneto the villain, yes, you can have Mona as like
Mm.
on the.
We'll see. Marvel games, if y'all listening, let's do that. Put Lorna in the game. But anyway, Bastion. My relaunch for him, he's a villain, obviously super anti-mutant. He usually has a squad of Sentinels with him, as well as a bunch of Nimrods as well. You probably also remember him from one of my favorite, probably top 5, maybe even top 3 X-Men events, Second Coming, where he really ran through a lot of the mutants. And I love a villain that gets the job done. And this relaunch kind of came from that moment actually where we saw Nightcrawler get killed, and then we saw his sister Rogue come through with all the different powers and basically destroy Bastion in that moment. And I personally think that we all love superhero Rogue, but what is a superhero without a villain? And I think Bastion should be relaunched as a rogue villain. He has kind of really not been used right now. A lot of the robots that have been used have pretty much just been Nimrod. Bastion is kind of like, I don't even know the last time he's really been anything. I think he was in like X-Men Blue for a bit, but that was like years ago. So I think we could bring him back, but make him specifically a rogue villain. If people recall, Rogue, she had the Carol personality in her head, but she lost that when she went through the Siege Perilous. It was like this big moment where Dazzler had to decide if she was going to stop the Sentinel that was like wrecking everybody or try to save Rogue. And Rogue was like, don't do it. Like, I'll take care of myself. Dazzler ended up shooting the Sentinel through, and they both, the Nimrod and Rogue, went through the Siege Perilous. And when they came out, Rogue lost the Carol personality in her head, and Nimrod became Bastion. So I think they both got this like rebirth kind of thing where they're kind of, in my opinion, kind of tied to each other. So I think that Bastion becoming a rogue villain would be great for her. She gets a villain, and it's someone that she can't just touch and win the fight. He's a robot.
She got
so
to
like,
think smart.
exactly.
I appreciate
so
that.
he
And
can
then
have her on the ropes.
he's got that adaptation aspect as well, and I think that could be a nice counter to when she does have different powers, and like she's always kind of got to switch it up and like get creative. I think that's good, and that's where Gambit can come in and help too, maybe.
Exactly. Maybe he can get thieves out there to get some device to help turn them off or something. Who knows?
That would be a nice little thing if he could make it a network for the hero stuff.
Somebody got to be listening to this. Like, come on, this is a lot better than what's happening right now. I'm sorry. I think that this would be hot. Let's give Rogue this Bastion villain. She can go off and finally be this big superhero, and we'd get more of the whole superhero supervillain thing. So I think Bastion coming around would be fantastic.
I actually really like that relaunch. That's hot.
Yeah, so let's bring Bastion back and make him a rogue villain. All right, well, that brings us to the end of the show. Please make sure you guys rate and subscribe us wherever you get your podcast. You can find us on Twitter and Instagram at Another Relaunch. You can watch us on YouTube at Another Relaunch TV. You can find me, or you can email us at anotherrelaunch@gmail.com. You can find me on most social media platforms at UncannyLZ. Keenan, where can they find you?
You guys know you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Keenan Lance. As always, there's an underscore at the end.
Boom. All right, y'all, let's get up out of here and we'll catch you next week.
Well, the week after.
Oh, wait, no. The week after next. All right, bye, y'all.